Welcome to the Everything Podcast.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 30. So yes, this episode is very special because it's the 30th episode of Season 2, the 40th episode of the podcast overall. But before I get into celebrating 30 episodes of the podcast and looking to the past, I'm going to look to the future. So what other milestones we've got to look forward to? So every Sunday will be a recap of the week's episodes. If you're not able to watch all 7 because it's normally about an hour and a bit, then that's fine. Maybe just watch the Sunday episodes. But some other milestones that are coming up. So the episode on the 29th of August, which will be Season 2, Episode 40, plus the 10 episodes from Season 1, makes the episode on the 29th of August be the 50th episode. So there'll be a celebration for that. Then on the 8th of September, it will be Season 2, Episode 50, so it'll be 50 episodes for Season 2. So it'll be quite similar to today's episode, but for Season 2, Episode 40, which is overall Episode 50, that's going to incorporate some things from Season 1, whereas it's only going to be Season 2 for like the 50 episodes of Season 2. Then what's the next big milestone? The next one is on the 23rd of September, Season 2, Episode 65, which will be 75 episodes of the podcast. So I'll be going all the way from the first episode to the first, 74 plus that episode makes 75. Then we've got, on the 3rd of October, we've got 75 episodes of Season 2 of the podcast. So overall 85 episodes, but we'll just be celebrating Season 2 again for that one. Then on the 18th of October, it's going to be a huge milestone because it will be 100 episodes of the podcast. So that's just over 2 months away. So I think it might be less than 2 months from when you're seeing this, because I'm recording this about a week in advance. But yeah, then we've got, what's the next one? So 18th of October is 100 episodes. The 28th of October is 100 episodes of Season 2 of the podcast. Then as I said, the episode on the 28th of October, which will be the 100 episodes of Season 2 of the podcast. Then on the 12th of November, we've got 125 episodes of the podcast. Then the next one, which will be on the 22nd of November, will be 125 episodes of Season 2. Then on the 7th of December, it will be 150 episodes of the podcast. Then on the 17th, 7th of December is 150 episodes, and then of the podcast overall. Then on the 17th of December, we've got 150 episodes of Season 2, which is actually quite good going. Bear in mind, I didn't start doing daily episodes until, the first one was in July, but And then on the 25th of December, which is obviously Christmas Day, there'll be a Christmas special. And then the rest of that episodes that week, so the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st of December will be the finale week of Season 2 of the podcast. Because, as I did this year, every year I re-switch the number. So last year, yes, I only did 10 episodes, but because I didn't start the podcast until midway through, that's why. So that's why there's only 10 episodes of Season 1. Season 2, there'll be 165. And Season 3, if I can get one out every day, you're looking around over 300. So Season 2, that finale week of Season 2 of the podcast, which will be split into 6 parts, because I won't be recording them really together, because it will be Christmas time and I'll be spending time with my family and friends. So, and I'll be looking at all the best bits from Season 2 of the podcast. So that'll be quite a lot one. So what I hope to do is those milestone ones to be maybe a bit longer than your typical episode, because by the time you've seen this episode, it's not out when I'm recording it, but it will be out when you're watching this one, is that there was a near half an hour episode on this Monday gone for Only Murders in the Building Season 3, where I reviewed episode 1 and 2, as well as showed you the official after show called One Killer Question, and that was because there was 2 episodes. So yeah, hopefully the milestone, this is the first milestone I've done, so yeah, hopefully they're going to be longer episodes for the milestones, like with the Only Bit. That's a one-off, it was going to be half an hour, it's just the way it is. I've got a certain, there's obviously things I want to cover each day on the podcast. I don't want to leave things out for a month, so I want to try and cover them as quickly as possible, but obviously when I record episodes there's only so much I can do. But yeah, so I'm going to do that, so hopefully, especially the finale week, that's going to be huge to be, well, yes, if I can try and split it evenly, but obviously keep tuned to the podcast every day, because I'll have more news as I figure it all out, because obviously that finale week was 4 months away from, and obviously I've only been doing daily episodes for 3 weeks now, so yes, so that's not it, but that's it for that segment of the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 30. Coming up next is we're going to be looking at some of my favourite bits of the podcast. But before I do that, remember, if you want to get in touch at any time, you can always comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel or to any of the videos. But if you don't want to do that, and you're not really that technical, you can also email everythingpodcast2022@gmail.com, so you can get in touch that way. But that's it for part 1 of season 2, episode 30. Part 2, which will be coming, which hopefully, even though it's part 1 and part 2, they'll be released, fingers crossed, on the same day in one episode. But yeah, I'm recording it separately because it's going to be a huge episode and I'm going to lose my voice. So that's it for part 1 of season 2, episode 30 of the podcast, which is where I've talked about all the future dates and told you how to get in touch. But coming up next, we'll be looking at some episodes from season 2 of the podcast. So I'll see you soon. Bye. Welcome back to the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 30. So in this section of the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 30, I will be sharing my favourite episodes of the podcast. So obviously by this point there's been 29 proper episodes and I've explained many things. Obviously we had the 10 episodes last year. We're going to talk about them today, but they will be coming up in the 50th podcast episode, which will be on the, obviously I've just talked about it, but I just wanted to mention, I'm not going to go through them all again, on the 29th of August, so it's only a couple of weeks away, so I'll be talking about all the episodes of the podcast. So my favourite episode from the 10 episode stretch of standalone episodes, so before I went daily episodes, was actually the first one, season 2 episode 1, where, because I took about a month off between when I recorded season 1 episode 10 and season 2 episode 1. So here is the Everything Podcast season 2 episode 1.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of the Everything Podcast. Hope you all had a happy holidays and a great new year. We're starting off today's show with the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer, which was released in December. Here it is.
We were gone for quite a while. But no matter what happens next, the galaxy still needs its guardians.
Hello, we come in peace.
Come on, Drax. Seriously, dude?
No!
Don't forget where we came from.
We have been running our whole lives. Pete, I'm done running.
We'll all fly away together. One last time. Into the forever and beautiful sky.
Kill no people.
Kill one guy, one stupid guy who no one loves.
Now you're just making it sad.
That was the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 releases in cinemas Friday, May 5th. Next up is the costume reveals for the 15th Doctor and Ruby Sunday, the brand new series of Doctor Who. They were released before the festive season, but after the last episode of the podcast. You can view them on the Doctor Who social media channels now. We're finishing the first episode of Season 2 with the first trailer for the Doctor Who 60th Anniversary Specials. Here is the trailer.
Sometimes I think there's something missing. Like I had something lovely. And it's gone.
I don't know who I am anymore.
The show is just beginning. Worldwide premiere.
Who are they?
Monsters.
I don't believe in destiny, but if destiny exists, then it is heading for Donna Noble.
Open fire!
If she ever remembers me, she will die.
Hey, man! He's not there. You can't see him.
Alvin! Someone tell me what the hell is going on here?
That was the first trailer for the Doctor Who 60th Anniversary Specials. These specials will broadcast this November. That's it for episode 1 of the Everything Podcast Season 2. I'll see you next time for Season 2, episode 2 of the Everything Podcast.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Everything Podcast. If you want to get in touch with me at any time, you can do it in a variety of ways. You can email everythingpodcast2022@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at everythingpodc. You can also find me on YouTube by searching for the Everything Podcast. I'll see you for the next episode of the Everything Podcast.
Yes, so that was the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 1, which is actually my most viewed podcast episode on the channel at the moment, and I'm recording this on Friday the 11th of August. So yes, so that's my pick for the first 10 episodes of the podcast. But another favourite of mine is the reveal that this episode, that the podcast would be going daily. So here is the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 11.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 11, first Episode 11 of the season. So there's that. And this is a very special edition of the podcast, because if you've watched or listened to Episode 10, which is on the YouTube channel right now, so go and check that out, because I'm gonna spoil the ending for you right now, and that is that I said that there would be shorter episodes, which is, you could see as bad news, but actually isn't. But there's going to be a lot more of them. So today's episode is about the future of the podcast and what it's going to look like. So I think this year, so obviously since January, there's been 11 episodes. 11 episodes I'm still in July 2023 when I'm recording this. So in 7 months, that's 11 episodes. So I think it works out about every 3 weeks. Now that's going to change. So it's not going to be weekly episodes. It's going to be daily episodes. So yeah, you've got 7. I'm not going to call them mini episodes because they're going to be, because some of the episodes before have been a bit shorter because I did it depend on how much news I had and stuff. But yeah, so it's going to be 7 episodes a week. So it's be about 30 episodes a month. So that would mean, as we're on episode 11 for this one, that in like 3 months' time we'd be on episode 100 and we'll have crossed episode 50. So yeah, so this is season 2 episode 11, and I just thought I would say that the future of the podcast, because obviously I did the one which you can go and check only from a couple of days ago, from season 2 episode 10, where I basically went, because what happened for episode 9, which was the mental health episode I did, there wasn't any news. And then from, I think it was the day after I recorded episode 9, there was a well of news, and I wasn't 100%, which is why I haven't been able to record. So that's why. So yeah, don't expect 15-minute episodes every day. That's incredibly unlikely to happen. It might happen, like, depend upon what I decide to cover that day. But yeah, so what we've got coming up this week that you can look forward to. So there will be a Blue Beetle trailer coming up, a Marvels trailer, a review of Secret Invasion, which is finale is last week, about a week ago from when you're seeing this. We've also got the season 3 trailer for Only Murders in the Building. We've got some Doctor Who related stuff and some new stuff that I'm going to talk about. You'll have to wait. So yeah, so an episode on a Monday is probably going to be kind of like, well, obviously you know what the future of the podcast is, but it's going to be, this is what you've got to look forward to this week. So yeah, episodes Monday to Sunday. There might be the odd occasion where I might split some in half to try and get them, or maybe have to split a day or miss a day for some reason. But yeah, so that was the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 11. See you tomorrow for the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 12. Bye. Yes, so that was the episode where I revealed. So in season 2 episode 10, I basically, at the end of that video, I went, here's some news, we're doing daily episodes. And then in season 2 episode 11 was when I went into it properly. My favourite episode from last week, from when you're watching this, because it'll be coming out on a Saturday. So I won't be able to cover anything that's happened this week, but because it's not a full week, so it wouldn't be fair. But this week, my favourite episode was the so my favourite episode last week is where I showed the Loki season 2 trailer. So here is the Everything Podcast season 2 episode 20.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 20. So in yesterday's video, I covered some more Big Finish news about Doomsday and Big Finish and all of that, so go check that video out. But in today, we've got some bits. But before we get to the main bit, which will involve some Marvel Loki stuff, which I'll get into in a minute, it's time for me to reveal the song that I attempted to play on the keyboard in Season 2, Episode 17, which you can also watch right now. So if you haven't watched that episode to find where the song is, that's where it is. And that song is, or is supposed to be, Made You Look by Meghan Trainor. So hopefully you got it right if you guessed. If you didn't, there'll be one coming up shortly. I don't know if I'll be able to do one this week, but I hope to do more of them. But yes, to the main bulk of the video and the podcast episode today, it's Loki. So we're actually going to start with the posters that have been revealed, which you will see if you're watching this, yes. So the first one which was released before the trailer, which we're going to get to in a minute, was a 100,000 minutes until Loki Season 2, which has 10 Lokis on a missed minutes clock, with obviously Loki Season 2, October 6th, which is a Friday, and the other trailer, very similar things, but had the Loki that we know in the middle and other Lokis running around. Loki Season 2, October 6th, which we know is Friday, and from what we know, it's going to be dropped weekly, and we can probably assume, like Season 1, it has 6 episodes. But without further ado, it is time for the first Loki Season 2 trailer. Here it is.
Obi? Hello? We have a little bit of a situation we wanted to run by you.
Mobius! Wow! Great to see you again!
That's what's been happening.
Wow! Time slipping.
Wait, you know that?
Yeah.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Can you fix that?
No. It's impossible to time slip in the TVA.
I know, but we just saw it happen.
Yeah.
I've been pulled through time, between the past and the present.
Hello?
If what I saw is true, there's nothing that stands between this world and utter destruction.
Only one way to find out. Little good old-fashioned legwork. Listen, we have different styles. You're a man of action, which is fine. I take a more slow, deliberate, cerebral approach. It's really goodbye.
It's up to us to save this place.
Is this cracked?
Yes, babe.
Whatever we do, we're playing God.
We are gods. But how do you choose who lives and who dies?
Make the hard choice.
It's him.
You better run!
War is on its way.
Come on, you're the god of mischief.
Always have been. Always will be.
A little over the top, don't you think?
I thought it was spot on.
Yes, so that is the trailer for Loki Season 2, which, as I said, premieres Friday, October 6th on Disney+. You can watch Season 1 of Loki right now on Disney+. And that came out, I think it was around this time, or had just finished 2021. So yes, that's actually it for the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 20. So tomorrow we have got a new poster for Blue Beetle, and I will also go through some of the stuff. So it'll kind of be like a Thursday episode, it'll be like a midweek, maybe review of what we've had so far and what we've got coming up this week. So yeah, we've got Blue Beetle posted tomorrow, and I'll be doing It's what to look forward to over the next couple of days. So yeah, thanks for watching and listening, depending upon if you're watching it or not. That is it for the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 20. See you tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, so that was Season 2, Episode 20 of the podcast. So those were my favourites. So in part 1 of this episode, I talked about all of the future milestones that we've got to look forward to in 2023, as well as my favourite videos. And coming up in part 3 will be your favourites, and I'm using this based... Well, obviously, let me know. There'll be a comment when you see this video. So let me know your favourite podcast episode, or episodes might be more, because I think choosing from 30 episodes might be a bit excessive. But yeah, if you tell me a few of your favourite episodes, these are based on the most viewed episodes on the channel, which just remember you can find by just going to youtube.com/the Everything Podcast. So yeah, I will see you soon for Season 3. No, not Season 3, that's next year. Season 2, Episode 30 of the Everything Podcast. Welcome back to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 30, and in this part, so in Part 1, like I've just said, we had the future milestones to look forward to in 2023, and I explained what this episode looked like, and that the milestone episodes are going to be probably a lot longer, especially as we reach 100 next year, 200 episodes of the podcast and upwards. Yeah, so, yes, but in Part 2, I told you my favourite podcast episodes. So in this episode, so like I said at the end of Part 2, you can like, comment, subscribe to the Everything Podcast. That's also great. But if you don't know YouTube, you can also email everythingpodcast2022@gmail.com. And how I'm going with your favourites, because obviously I'm recording this in advance, so I won't know what your favourite episodes are unless you've emailed in. But at the time of recording, that hasn't happened. It's the most viewed. But so we're going to start with the non-daily episodes, Season 2, Episode 1 to Episode 10. The most viewed episode is Season 2, Episode 1, like I said, towards the beginning of Part 2 with 102 views at the moment. But the second most viewed, because I don't want to play the same video twice, is the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 3 with 37 views. So here is the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 3.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 3. In this episode, I will discuss a variety of trailers. But first of all, let's talk about the DCU Chapter 1 slate reveal that took place only a few hours after the release of the last episode. Here is that slate reveal.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that was the reveal for, part of the DCU Chapter 1 slate. But next up, it's the trailers. And the first trailer I will talk about this episode is the Flash trailer, like what James Gunn said at the beginning, because that's coming out, I think it's June time, that was released during the Super Bowl. Here is the trailer for the Flash. So that was the trailer for The Flash. If my voice sounds a bit lower than usual, I'm recuperating from a sore throat, so that's fine. The next trailer I'm going to talk about is the second trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Here it is.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm Star-Lord. I formed the Guardians. Met a girl, fell in love. That girl died, but then she came back. Came back a total dick.
Oh, please. He left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
I get the same old dreams, same time every night. Fall to the ground and I wake up.
My sacred mission is to create the perfect society.
He didn't want to make things perfect. He just hated things the way they are.
I want you all to know that I am grateful to fight beside my friends.
Incinerate them.
We were always searching for a family until we found each other.
Are you ready for one last ride?
We'll all fly away together.
Into the forever and beautiful sky.
Whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? That's ridiculous.
Do not bring me into this.
Knock it off!
What? Just never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
Yeah, that was the second trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which releases in May. Next up is the Neighbours section. As I mentioned in an episode in Season 1 of the podcast, Neighbours is returning in 2023. In that video, they announced that, as well as a brand new season in the second half of 2023, there would also be the release of classic episodes. Here is a trailer with some more news about the release of these classic episodes. Here it is.
Hey.
Yeah.
Do you know what's good about February?
I don't know, Valentine's Day?
Nope.
The weather in Australia?
Not even close. You're forgetting this is the year of Neighbours. And in February, Amazon Freevee will be showing most of the iconic episodes of Neighbours that have ever been filmed, along with all the episodes from the year 2012 for you to stream.
2012?
Mm.
Oh, that was a top year. That was the year Susan took up pole dancing.
That was the year that Susan's sister Carmel made a play for Carl.
She did. Cheeky old Carmel.
Yeah, that's right. So, just after that it was released, it was announced that all of the 2012 episodes would be arriving on February 23rd, which is tomorrow for when I'm recording this, because I'm recording this on February the 22nd, 2023, as well as some of the most iconic episodes. Here is the Neighbours 2012 trailer.
We have something we want to tell you.
Susan and I, we've decided to separate.
Why?
We've been having problems for some time. We need to put all this behind us and start doing what we should have done months ago, living separate lives. I'm going to move out.
This isn't the first time I've heard you make comments like this about Noah. You're accusing him of having a crush.
He does have a crush, and it's on you.
I really loved him, Kate. I know.
Could you come inside with me, please? There's something that we need to talk about. Kate, what's wrong?
What's going on?
I kissed a student and I quit teaching.
You know, Kat, this is not the real you.
Who is the real me?
Kate just found out that her ex-boyfriend died. I don't think she knew what she was doing.
Why didn't you tell me Michael's dead? Every decision I make, it's about you. I'm sick of it.
Look, trust me, Kate. Don't turn your back on family. Something you'll regret for the rest of your life.
You and Jay, we kind of had a friends with benefits thing going.
You wanted more?
Yeah, I know what this is about. I asked, and you knocked me back. It's cool.
My last relationship was bad. He hit me. That's why I go for guys who won't want anything serious.
Do you honestly think I was with Mal for kicks?
You know what? I don't care why
Well,
you
you
were with
should! It's because of you! I've been in love with you for months.
Have you told her anything about her mother?
You haven't been a part of this family for
Yeah, I know
15
exactly how
years.
long it's been, Michael. I just want to get to know my niece.
You were never going to tell me, were you?
What is it?
It's a copy of Mum's death certificate. She drowned, Dad!
He tried to save her. He couldn't.
Why didn't he just tell me?
I don't think he's ever forgiven himself.
Is this where it happened?
Yeah.
I can't do it. This is exactly where it happened. We were in there, cheating on Helena while she drowned.
You know Erinsborough inside out. That's exactly why I hired you.
You're going to buy out our friends' businesses for a car park?
You want to bulldoze the yard and put the car park here?
Yep.
That is a lot of cash.
I won't be intimidating to selling.
You were throwing away an amazing offer.
Tony, stop!
I've got the developers screaming down the phone at me for a result. Try another angle.
Chris got bashed at the garage.
I didn't see who did this.
I'm going to find this scumbag, whatever it takes.
That cracked rib is sitting right against his lung. Find out where he is. We need to get hold of him.
You tell him I had nothing to do with this, you scumbag!
What you did to me was unforgivable.
I'm never gonna understand girls.
Funny how Audrey's always found her way back to Ramsay Street.
Hard place to live.
That was the Neighbours 2012 trailer there. And that's it for Season 2, Episode 3 of the Everything Podcast. See you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Everything Podcast. If you want to get in touch with me at any time, you can do it in a variety of ways. You can email everythingpodcast2022@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at everythingpodc. You can also find me on YouTube by searching for the Everything Podcast. I'll see you for the next episode of the Everything Podcast.
That was the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 3, which was the second favourite from Season 2, Episode 1, Episode 10, I mean most viewed, because I didn't want to show Season 2, Episode 1 again. But now we're into the daily episodes era, and the most viewed episode from then was the second episode, which involved the Blue Beetle trailer. So here is the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 12.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast.
Hiya, and welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 12. Yes, so if you watched yesterday's episode, then you will know that I'm now doing daily episodes of the podcast. If you don't know the surprise, if you subscribe, that would be great, because you will get to see where all the episodes come out and what time, because they're coming out before, so I'm recording a few days in advance. If that makes sense. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what exact time, but hopefully they'll be coming out. Hopefully this should be coming out on the 1st of August. Fingers crossed. So happy August, everyone. Yeah, so today what we're going to talk about for Season 2, Episode 12. I also went through yesterday some of the stuff that you can expect this week. So today, because we've had, well, it wasn't Comic-Con. It was Comic-Con like just over a week ago-ish from when I'm recording this. It would be nearly 2 when you see it. There was all of these massive things, but obviously we're on the studios again. Talked about it on Friday's episode. which you can go and check out, which was season 2, episode 10, which I basically went, this is all the... So I did a Neighbours special, and I went, this is every bit of Neighbours news, because that was the big one, and then I thought I'd do shorter ones for the bits. But yes, so it's DC's turn today, and they've released the well, it's the final trailer for Blue Beetle, which is in cinemas starting August 18th, which is about 2.5 weeks away. So here is the trailer, the final one for Blue Beetle. Yes, so that was the trailer for Blue Beetle there, which, as I said before I showed you the trailer, is out in cinemas August 18th, which is only a couple of weeks away, so go and check that out. You can watch see the latest stuff. The Flash is now on digital. Didn't do very well in cinemas. Yeah, it was on and off for essentially 10 years, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So yes, so that's it for season 2, episode 12. So tomorrow, what we got to look forward to tomorrow, I am going to be doing a Marvel related short thing. So there'll be a review for Secret Invasion-ish, and there'll be the trailer for the Marvels, which was released be about a week and a bit ago. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. So that's it for the Everything Podcast, season 2, episode 12. Bye. So that was the Everything Podcast season 2 episode 12, which is, as I said, Blue Beetle trailer. Told you what was coming up. I went into a bit more detail about the daily episodes, but the last podcast episode that I'm going to show in the 30th episode of season 2 of the podcast is season 2 episode 18, which was a neighbour special. Here is the Everything Podcast season 2 episode 18.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast season 2 episode 18 of the podcast. Yes, so we're at episode 18. So I did 7 daily episodes last week. Go and check them out on the YouTube channel, which you can get by youtube.com/the Everything Podcast. And just before I get into it, if you want to get in touch with me about anything, ideas for the podcast, guest, etc., just email everythingpodcast2022@gmail.com. So we've got another Neighbours special today. So none of last week's episodes were Neighbours related, but episode 10, which was I did the week before, is. So yes, here is. We've had a lot of Neighbours news, we've had cast announcements, we've had trailers, we've had return dates. So here is the trailer, or one of the trailers actually, for Neighbours, was titled Neighbours A New Chapter. So here is the first trailer. Hope you enjoy. Ooh, is it playing? Here we are. Technical difficulties. That's annoying. Come on. Let's try again. Let's have another go. Oh no, it's playing without any sound. Right, let's have another go. Here is the new Neighbours trailer. That was the new trailer for the Neighbours, titled A New Chapter. And when you're seeing this, when Matt nicely animates it for me, you will see that it also announced the release date, which is 18th of September, which is, I think it's about 6 weeks away exactly to the day. So just a reminder, it is available on Channel 10 in Australia, Amazon Freevee in the UK and the US, and then a week later it is available in Canada, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and I think I might be missing one. No, it doesn't say that. But yes, that's the first bit of Neighbours news. The next bit is... Here we go, yes, it's just taking a bit of time to load. Yes, a new poster was revealed shortly after that video. So you've got Melanie Pearson, played by Lucinda Cowden. Here's me trying to remember the whole full names of the characters and the actors. And you've got Toadie Rebecca, played by Ryan Maloney, Kenzie Hargraves, played by Georgia Stone, Shiv, I can't remember his surname, can't remember who's played by, a dog, which I'll get to in a minute, Carl Kennedy, played by Alan Fletcher, Therese Willis, played by Rebecca Amaloglu, Susan Kennedy, played by Jackie Woodburn, a new character who I think his name's Cara, but I can't remember. Then you've got Reese, played by Mish Barton, and Paul Robinson, played by Stephen Dennis. That's the first poster. And we'll have another poster coming up shortly. But this trailer I'm releasing now was actually released just before the one, and this was about the Australian one. So let's have a listen.
You're all invited to a neighbour's wedding. A wedding you'll never ever forget. Neighbours returns Monday, September 18 on Channel 10.
Yes, so we don't know what time it's being released on Amazon Freevee in the UK and the US, and Prime Video in South Africa, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. But in Australia on Channel 10, it will be Monday, September 18th, as we said, 4:30 PM, Channel 10, and it will be replayed again at 6:30 PM on 10 Peach, which is like the digital version, and 10 Play, which I'm guessing is a on-demand service. So next, I think, is the other poster. Is it? Might be. Let's have... Yes, so we're going to do back row first. So you got Paul Robinson, played by Stephen Dennis, Jane Harris, played by Annie Jones, Carl Kennedy, played by Alan Fletcher, Byron Stone, played by Xavier Leloyu, I think, Shiv, can't remember the surname, and I can't remember the actor, Sadie Rodwell, played by Emerald Chan, Therese Willis, played by Rebecca Amaloglu, Susan Kennedy, played by Jackie Woodburn, Holly, I can't remember her surname, but she's Carl's and Izzy's daughter, played by Lucinda Armstrong Hall, and Toadie Rebecca, played by Ryan Maloney. I don't know if this is the same poster that I've already talked about or if it's a new one. Oh, no, because they've added a lot more characters. So you've got, let's click on the image so I can actually see all of them. So in the other one where we talked about all the characters, we've also got Leo Tanaka, played by Tim Kono, and I think that's his baby. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. Hugo, I don't know who the new actor is. Can't remember. Rodwell, he's a police sergeant, played by Lloyd Will. Sadie talked about Wendy Rodwell, played by Candice Lask. Yes, Sam seems to be in it, who Mike Young is the father of. That's related, saw Mike and Jane in the trailer, so I think that's it. So it's basically all the regulars. And speaking of regulars, they've announced a new cast member. Trevor the dog will make his screen debut when Neighbours returns on Monday, September 18th. And the last bit of Neighbours news today is that is a little trailer, mini trailer. Here it is. Richard, yes, of course. It's not letting me play the audio again. Let's have another go right now.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
It's still weird hearing that preview, because even though they've released all of the episodes 2012 to 2018 at the time of recording, apparently they're releasing 2020. I forgot the last one. And a load, I think it's nearly 100 episodes, because they've taken some from those seasons, but we've got 2021, 2022 and some more iconic episodes apparently coming this Thursday. So yeah, that's it for Neighbours News. I just want to give you a quick insight into what else we've got coming up this week. We've got a poster for the new Blue Beetle movie, which we had a trailer for last week. We've got some Loki Season 2 news involving a trailer and some posters. And we've got some more Big Finish related stuff. So that's what we've got to look forward to this week. So I'll see you tomorrow. And that is it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 18. Bye. Yeah, so that was the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 18, where I did another Neighbour special. But that's it for the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 30, Part 3. So I'll see you shortly for Part 4. But yeah, see you soon. Welcome back to the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 30. This is Part 4 of Season 2 Episode 30. So in Part 1, I basically went what was going to happen in this extended edition of the podcast, which is that we're celebrating the first 30 episodes of Season 2 of the Everything Podcast, and I also explained future milestones that you can expect from the podcast by the end of 2023. Then in Part 2, I showed my favourite episodes of the podcast. In Part 3, I showed your favourite episodes of the podcast, as they were the most viewed episodes from that time frame. So just a reminder that the next milestone will be episode 50 of the podcast, which will air on the 29th of August, which is only 10 days away from when you're seeing this podcast. So yeah, but if you want to get in touch with me, obviously you can like, comment and subscribe on YouTube. But if you don't want to do that, which is fine, you can also email everythingpodcast2022@gmail.com. So tomorrow I will be doing a recap of all of this week's episodes. And just to let you know that this podcast episode is over an hour long. So yeah, we'll see. So yes, I did say that the special edition, so obviously the 30th of Season 2 today, the 50th episode coming up in just over a week, will be long, but obviously the more we go, so we get to 100, 150, 200 episodes, that will they'll be a lot longer. So even only for 30 it's an hour. So and obviously, so just a reminder, at some of the milestones, obviously on the 29th of August we've got the 50th, then we've also got the 75th episode, which will be on the 23rd of September. We have the 100th episode on the 18th of October. 125 episodes will be on the 12th of November. Did we reach 150? I think we might do before the end of the year. 150 episodes will be on the 7th of December, and then we've got a Christmas special, obviously on Christmas Day, and then from Boxing Day, the 26th of December to the 31st of December will obviously be the Season 2 of the podcast, the finale week, because then next year we'll be doing into season 3. So we'll be looking back at everything from this year, which will be, as I said there, over 150 episodes this year. So that'll be quite a long one. But yes, so thank you, because I don't know if this is going to be 1 video or 2 or 3, I don't know yet. But whatever the length and how many episodes it is, I just want to say thank you. Even so, if you've only listened and watched 1 episode, then that's great. If you've watched all 30 of season 2, or you joined me right at the beginning, so you've watched all 40 episodes so far, then I want to say thank you. And obviously thank you to Matt, who animates all the episodes and makes them look nice. Otherwise it would be a podcast on YouTube and you wouldn't be really interested. So thank you to Matt, thank you to you for watching and listening. I'll see you tomorrow for the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 31. But until then, goodbye.